So my name is Martha, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Schema app. And I'm joined today by my co-founder, Mark Van Berkel, who's the actual creator of Schema app. Now, how many of you in the crowd know what I'm talking about when I talk about schema markup or structured data? So raise your hand. All right, for those of you who don't know what it is, you've actually experienced it. So when you do an organic search and you see star ratings or images or extra information in the search results, it's because there's code called schema markup that lets Google understand exactly what that web page is talking about and brings that important context that our last two speakers have spoken about. So Schema app is a software as a service that allows digital marketers to embrace this very techy, strategic SEO without writing code, without having to wait for IT, and to do it at scale. And we have two products. One product that helps you optimize unique pages like your homepage or your contact page, but another product that's called our highlighter that allows you to do tens to thousands of pages all at once. So we'll cover both tools in our demo. So when you're using Schema app, you'll start by creating a project, and this allows the digital marketer to manage all their schema markup in one place. And when you create your schema markup, what's great is that you can actually see, what data items or what entities you have on the page, again, these things that you're trying to understand the context of, as well as the health of whether you're meeting Google's required and recommended properties. When you're creating schema markup for one of these unique pages, the first thing you have to ask is, what is this thing? We joke that philosophers are the best at doing this. And so Schema app actually has all the different classes available in the schema.org vocabulary. There's over 800. And because we're in the season of golf and we're all dreaming of spring, here we'll look up, looking for a golf course. And so you'd go ahead and create a data item, and then we would prompt you for what's called the properties to describe this golf course. And so in our Schema app editor, you would go and look at what's on that homepage and what you can use to describe the context of that golf course, enter it in our tool. And what's also really neat is that when you're doing this, and what provides the context is when you're actually starting to manage your knowledge graph. And this is where Schema app is very different from a lot of the tools that do schema markup, in that we're going to ask you to connect. So here we're trying to connect that the alumni, Billy Joel, is from Cutton Fields Golf Course in Guelph, and that you can connect those entities, or you can define cities that you search using Wikidata or Wikipedia. So we're helping small companies and large companies build that knowledge graph. You click save, and then we generate the JSON-LD error-free, and we also can automate all the deployments so you're never copying and pasting code, and we integrate with WordPress, Shopify, Drupal, any JavaScript, any tag manager. Pretty much other than Wix, we can integrate with anything. So this is great for if you have 5 or 10 pages on your website, but what if you're TD Bank? So let's look at the highlighter. So the highlighter is where you can then pick a template example and go ahead and optimize it in about 10 minutes and deploy it and optimize all those pages. So here we've picked our friend Harmeet's TD credit cards as our template page. And again, we have all the classes because we're a professional tool. And so we'll go ahead and load that page into our highlighter. And when we load that, what we're going to do is bring a copy of that page in. And similar to what we were doing when we were in the editor mapping content on the page into schema markup, here we're actually going to select elements of the page and map that to schema markup. So here we've selected an image, and we can do more than just basic schema markup. Here we'll map it to an image, and if anyone knows schema, image object, URL, and we can also connect to do existing properties. So again, building dynamic knowledge graphs. In our next step, then we create the page set, and in the page set, you tell us where all the other credit cards are on the TD Bank site, and this will give us direction on where those templates exist, and we'll list a couple examples, validate those, and then once we validate them, we'll want to then check to make sure that the template that you created indeed matches. And so here on the TD site, once we get rid of our pop-up, you can see that we're now seeing the different images. And so really the next step as a digital marketer, and notice you haven't written any code, you literally go to the next page, verify that those mappings, click your summary, and then when you save it, you decide whether you want us to crawl the site to extract the information and use one of our standard integrations, or you would go ahead and just put one tag in a Google Tag Manager or a tag, and then we generate your schema markup within 30 minutes across all pages within that page set. So Schema app is really about empowering digital marketers to do schema markup with speed, with context, so that you can manage your brand's knowledge graph for all machines, not just organic search, but for the emerging use cases around voice. And more recently, we started talking about how schema markup can be that foundation to connect virtual reality with reality. So I'm Martha Van Berkel. I'm the CEO at Schema App, and this is Schema App.